A lot of people are looking at the 23rd of September. I'm not saying something can't happen then. It's almost like the boy that cried wolf. You know, so many people have picked dates that nobody believes dates anymore, which is good. No one should. But then if there were a date that was really significant to come along, most people wouldn't believe it anyway, because so many people have made the mistake of picking dates, like the boy that cried wolf, right? I'm going to show you something about the iPet goat. A lot of people think they understand this thing. A lot of people have taken iPet goat and said they know the meaning of it. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to show you something you've never seen in it. I guarantee it. You'll see something you've never seen. And I'm going to use the foundation of the truth to go through iPet goat and show you what it means and how obvious this whole thing is now. Let's start with something you've never seen. I'm going to start at a point of iPet goat because I've told you the entire thing with this world is the duality, the twin system, good and evil, light and dark, Cain and Abel, where it all started, Cainable, the virgin system, Eve in the garden, the serpent commingling, and I've shown you the Vatican is a big serpent. I've shown you the largest altar in the world is a vagina, and when you turn it right side up, it's a dead sheep. I've shown you these things. They're facts. These are facts. Now I'm going to show you what this is about. Let's start. We're going to start at the 4-minute, 32-second mark. Nobody's really knows what this thing's about, I don't think. I haven't seen anyone yet that really understands it. That is a body on its back, and that's a penis up, and that's an erect penis right there. That is an erect penis, and it represents the light leaving it, because I told you all this commingling is what's creating all the prisons, and in every host body is a soul, an angel, that's being transmutated into food for a locust in the pit. You see that? That's a guy laying on his back. Here's his penis. This is his leg up, and this is his knee. Here's his thigh going up to his knee, coming down to his calf and his foot. Okay, and this is what's called plausible deniability. That is a penis ejaculating right there. I'm sorry, but it is. Let's just be very clinical about this. It shows, you know, the light represents ejaculation, the light leaving it. This hand comes down like the hand of God. Watch. Now let me show you is that a penis or no? It's a yes or no. Is that supposed to be a penis? It's a yes or no answer. The answer is absolutely. Let me show you what's in the penis. Okay, now we got a close-up. Is this supposed to be just some prison? Well, it is a prison. What's the tip of the coming out of the tip of the penis? This represents the race of beings that we are. Remember I showed you in the Vatican the large face of the dragon on the Sistine Chapel. One eye is across the moat, you know, the cross that's withering and falling. The other eye is a beam that's crushing the lion of the tribe of Judah that's on the face of the dragon that is in the Vatican in the Sistine Chapel. You're looking at a cross that's coming out of the tip of a penis right there. Now, if you look right here, there's a window. Let's watch. Now there's a blinking heart. You know, like a brothel. I mean, you know, like you would see outside a brothel. Now there's an old woman in here. Let me show you something. Let me go here. And the light of the candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all the nations deceived. Now listen, I know what sorceries means, and I know it can mean a variety of things. It can mean pharmakia, druggist, potion, magician, sorcerer, sorcery, and witchcraft. That's what it means. That is the meaning of the word. For by thy sorceries were all the nations deceived. And in her was found the blood of the prophets and the saints. Okay, a lot of people just try and stick with just New York. It's not just New York. It's the mother goddess system that's run the whole earth. And all of them that were slain upon the earth. Look, and this transcends, this transcends centuries and centuries. The blood of the prophets, well, they didn't all live at the same time. Of the saints, they didn't all live at the same time. And of all that were slain upon the earth, for by thy sorceries, and in her mother goddess system, like the Statue of Liberty representing the host body system that's being ruled over by the Queen of Heaven. Now watch, here we go. Let's go back. So inside the penis, there's a cage, that's up here at the top. And there's this woman in there. Let's watch. She's looking out like she's looking for a new Johnny, a new John. Someone to come up and be her John for the night. Okay? See the blinking heart? Like she's a prostitute? Like the prostitute that sits on many waters. Now watch. That was rather disgusting and phallic, what just happened. Now she's grown old. The system, her system, now she's an old woman. Now she's old. Now watch. She's trying to use her sorcery. Look at her wand. She's trying to do her spell. And the whole spell she had was the fornication, and the earth, and all the nations of the earth have committed fornication with her. Okay, now watch. Now she's up against the wall and she has a spot of blood like she's having a period. Watch the spot of blood. It's dried up now and her boobs have withered and she's no longer fertile. The system has dried up. Okay, now I'm going to start here by showing y'all something no one's ever shown you. What this is really all about. Okay, now I just explained to you what that represents. No one's ever shown anybody on YouTube what this represents. I'm going to go back to the beginning now, and we're going to start at the beginning. The very first thing in your scene is what? This is one of those ceramic nodes that electricity, an electric prison, and it's guarded by an electric fence. You see it? That's what that is. To show that there is an electric line keeping the prisoners in. Okay, there's a guy on a leash. There's a guy right here. He's got a hat on. You only see one eye, which is Satan's system, Lucifer's system. You only got the one eye showing. And they made his legs spread like that because it's a pyramid, which is who they are. They are the pyramid. And he's holding back a dog on a leash. Remember that Odd Future Wolfgang, Kill Them All clothing line? Kind of like that. They're here, they're among us, but they're on a leash. Okay, so when the face is first popping out in this one just flash track, you'll see that when the head of this animal is coming out, it looks like a sheep. But then as the head comes all the way out, it turns into a goat. And look what's on the chin right here. You see that? That is done with what's called intent in art. That is a crescent moon, because the goats are represented by the crescent moon. You know, Islam, they worship the crescent moon. They are the goats. That's what's going on. The whole Islamic invasion that's going on right now all around the world, it's the goats making their move. And that's why when this head comes out, as you see it emerging, it looks like a sheep, but then as the head comes all the way out, it's a goat. Watch. There, now it's a goat. And it's got its mark, like the mark of the beast. Now, it's hypnotized. Okay, see it? Look at the eyes spinning around. Okay, so now the goat is under control of its master, which is Satan. I pet goat 2. See the one line and the other line joined together? That's on purpose, you know, like the Twin Towers, the two that are joined together, like the symbol for Aries, the twins. You see it? There it is. Now this represents the one that's pulling the strings, Lucifer. That's a no-brainer. And let's see whose strings he's pulling. This is alluding to that, yes, they are puppets. They are just all puppets. Now the black and white towel represents, you know, the two different races. A lot of people say, oh, it's Masonic. Well, that's true. Illuminati. Well, I guess that's true. But the black and white stands for the commingled races. That's what it's there for. On the wall right here, you're going to see a brain. Pay attention. There's a line going through it. It looks like a lightning bolt, but it's also sperm. So the brain has been split. It's divided. Okay, over here, this woman, she's got one eye that's normal, and the light's supposed to be shining through. Looks like a very different eye that's in the shadows, you know, kind of like the shadow behind their eyes, because there's something else looking out. Now, he's going to do his little dance. Over here, it says love backwards. And it says evolution the other way. Here we go. I'm going to pause it right there because you could see very clearly there's the brain divided by, it looks like lightning, and as well as a sperm. Now here we go. You can see L-O-V-E. Love is turned backwards into E-V-O-L-U-T-I-O-N. Evolution. I want y'all to look at the wall right now so you can see right here on the wall it says F equals negative F. That's like the twin system. The good you equals the bad you now. F equals negative F, and you see the shadow of turning? Okay, now over here with the evolution, you see the guy hanging. He's got 2 X's. That's the female chromosome. Females have 2 X's. Male is an XY. The female mother goddess was the death of the whole system. That's why the tongue's sticking out. That is the evolution, the female mother goddess. And then this death turns into this. You see the shark? It turns into a predator, a vicious killing predator. Now listen, this is very fascinating. That is the same kind of image that Alex drew when I went into Starbucks. The guy that drew the picture of me with the dead sheep on the image. He drew of me. If y'all don't know about that video, Clay can probably put a link. It's called the Nike Dead Sheep Testimony. When I walked into Starbucks, the guy that turned into Satan right in the middle of Starbucks, he drew something like this right here, because the death of this turns into this, evolution. The female chromosome, the 2 X's, is the death of the host body. It kills the angel inside, and it turns into this. Okay, also, yeah, I'll show you here on the wall, in the middle of the snowflake is a right side up and upside down pyramid.
Fool me once, fool me once, fool me once. Shame on.
Let's look up top on evolution. It shows a fish like a monkey. He's walking upright. You know, like they're trying to sell evolution. And look what here is at the end. Y'all know that's a man with a sun around his head, because that represents a child of Apollyon. Okay, evolution into a child of Apollyon. Look at the clock. It's at 12 straight up. Look at the penis ejaculating and the church burning. Okay, this is significant too. I believe this pin that's in the map, when Obama comes into the scene, I think this is when this becomes very significant. It looks like New York.
Shame on. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you.
Okay, here you go. You see the dragon on the wall? Because this is the mind of the dragon that's been divided. See the lightning? Dividing the mind. It's also a sperm. That's why it goes up and it makes this shape. F equals negative F. What was the good you now equals the bad you. F equals negative F. It's the sixth letter of the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F. You know, like 666? We're made out of carbon. So F equals negative F. Okay? Of course, he's shooting the devil horns with both his hands. And that's like he's possessed, you know. Okay, now we have the graduate. Okay, it's like he was the flunky. Bush was the flunky. He read Psalm 23 at the destruction of the Twin Towers, and the Twin Towers represented the twin system. Twin DNA is 23 and 23 is 46. Barack Obama at the 9/11 ceremony, he read Psalm 46, representing the completed chromosomes. So here's the graduate. Now watch. Remember, the Bible says in John 15, that they hated both me and my Father, bringing to pass what is written in their law. They hated me without cause. Okay, then you go to Psalm 35:19, and it says, neither let them that are my enemies wrongfully rejoice over me, neither let them wink with the eye that hate me without cause. They hate Jesus, and they hate the truth because Jesus is the truth. They hate the truth without cause. Watch. Okay, look at his tooth. You see that tooth? That an artist had to do that. That's a fang. He's winking, and he's got a fang. He's the graduate. Okay? Okay, this represents the fall. She took the fruit, and this is the result of the fruit. See the barbed wire wrapped around this race of beings that, you know, they're basically a generic race. Okay, and these two, their heads are lumped together, glued together, kind of like they have twin minds. You have a dual mind. The Bible says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. It says, don't be double-minded. And so here, this is going to be a representation of the fall. She's pristine, clean, and here she goes. She touched the fruit. Things go dark. Now the two different seeds come out, two different halves, and create one plant. This is everything I've been showing you guys. It's just in a different form. It's the exact same thing, same story, different form of media. Now, I believe this part shows Barack sweating it out until he's coming into his, you know, his thing, his power. He's graduated, but now he's waiting to take power. Now watch. Look at the windows. Watch these windows. I'll stop right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. Okay, those are divided on purpose. Here's the lightning, okay, at the 144. Let me show you where Barack was. See the lightning? Barack, lightning from heaven. Luke 10:18. Now it shows the lightning going this way. Now the reflection is going the other way. There is the United States torn in half. Is that looking familiar? The flag is ripped in half. See it? The United States is divided. Okay, now look at the clock again. It's at 12 straight up. Time's up. The country's divided. That's what they were after. Okay, here we go. Now this represents the twin DNA system. And the twin DNA system is falling down. There it is. And here's this little guy that represents the up and coming new thing doing his little dance. Okay, and by the way, that, that's Anubis, the god of death, that's at the head of the ship. Okay, now what's this? This is, here comes Islam. This represents the coming of Islam. This represents the Mahdi coming with his group in order to bring on the Islamic Jihad and the end of the world. So here comes the Islamic Jihad. Okay, there, here they come. Here comes, look, they have missiles on their heads. Okay, they're ready for war, and they're obviously invoking Allah, or there's the crescent moon, and here they come. Look what's on his shirt. Y'all know what that is? That is a CIA badge. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Why do you think it's so hard to prosecute Hillary Clinton? Why do you think it's so hard to prosecute a complete traitor like James Comey, Robert Mueller, Loretta Lynch, Susan Rice? Susan Rice. All of them, they're traitors, straight up traitors. And this CIA right there. Who do you think's funding all this? Okay, so here comes the Statue of Liberty. So here comes the Islamic Jihad, and they're coming. And then what's the very next scene? Oh, the Statue of Liberty. Look, sitting on top of a right side up, upside down triangle, representing the host body system. One right side up, one upside down. Is this getting painfully obvious now? And now watch, she's going to drop the torch, because the lights are going out in the United States of America. Get ready, folks. Now watch. Now the fetus is going to turn upside down. And once it does, once you see this fetus turn upside down, it's going to have a serpent wrapped around it, which is exactly what I've been telling you. Those who hide their plans turn everything upside down to turn the entire race into something else. There you go. So there it is. Now the serpent's wrapped around it. This is literally identical to the hieroglyph of Akhenaten and Nefertiti. Inside the head of the kid, you know what? I'm going to pause this. I'll do it right now. Here is the hieroglyph of Akhenaten and Nefertiti. Here is the cumulative sum of the hieroglyph. It's a face. It's also the female reproductive system, ovary, fallopian tube, cervix, uterus, opening to the vagina. That's where there's a line in the bottom lip, okay? Now, that big face right there, let me show you what makes up part of this whole thing. If you look at the child that Akhenaten is holding, he is holding a child right here. There you go. The child that he's holding, in the head of the child is a dead sheep. Here's the eye of the sheep. Here's the nostril of the sheep. Let's go this way. Eye coming down the face to the nostril, the open mouth, the tongue hanging out, the bottom jaw, and the eye of sheep. This is the ear of the sheep. The child is looking this way. The sheep is looking this way. Let me show you what this turns into. Okay? The head of the sheep, the head of the child is really an egg that is hatching. a new race of beings. Let me show you. Here is an egg right here. Here's the egg right here. There's the egg. Okay, I'm going to take the egg and I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to reduce it in size. I'll reduce the egg in size. Here's the egg. Now the sheep is inside the egg. And now I'm going to take a reptile right here. You can see there's a reptile inside. So there's a reptile growing and there's a sheep dying. There's the eye of the sheep, nostril, tongue hanging out. That becomes the eye of the reptile. The nostril of the sheep becomes the eye of the reptile. So the head of the child, the entire head of the child is an egg that is hatching a reptile right there at the cost of the sheep. See, the sheep's dying and the reptile, you see the dead sheep? Let me line it up. You see the dead sheep? There you go. And now, boom, the reptile is growing at the cost of the dead sheep inside the head of the kid. Let's watch iPet Goat now. So the fetus gets turned upside down. Watch that. It's an egg. Now, if you take a look at this image of Jesus, that's supposed to be Jesus, he has an eye on his forehead. Well, if you turn that upside down, the eye becomes a mouth, and that is the system that they use. See the eye right there in the forehead? It also represents the awakening of this race of beings. Now watch. Stay tuned. Watch. Okay, see how the eye turned into the mouth opening? That's what it went from. It went from the eye right here, and it turned into the mouth of the devil. Because that really does make a mouth when you let these be the eyes and this be the mouth when you turn it upside down. I show you all that same imagery all the time. When you see something on the forehead like that, the enemy always likes to put that as a mouth. So here comes this devil, this consciousness. Watch. There it comes. Okay, what was the head of the child? It was an egg. A dead sheep right there. There's the dead sheep. And there's the reptile. The kid's dying. His head is hatched. And what came out of his head? The serpent. The new consciousness. Okay, now this part, it shows a mosque blowing up, and out of the mosque here come, it looks like bats or blackbirds. What it reminds me of is birds of the sky, fowls of the air in the Bible, but I cannot say that that's what it is, but it's obviously a mosque blowing up. So let's just keep going. Okay, now this is very common. This is, this has Catholicism written all over it. The mother and Madonna and child, like Jesus in the lap of the mother. And it looks like the whole system is done. You see what I mean? The Our Lady of Sorrows, it looks like the very common mother goddess, Our Lady of Sorrows, holding the body of Christ. But it just doesn't, it looks like it's over and done with. You got one eye one way, one eye like it's out or turned into possibly a reptile eye, and one eye closed. That is absolutely the system. Now this is very odd. This is like this new, it has the look of a child that's, part of a, it would look like something that you would see in a tribe in the jungle, a very primitive, look. And he's got an AK-47, looks like it's an AK-47, and it's got a bow on it, and this guy's reaching over, undoing the bow, like setting him loose. He's got the skull and bones on his arm. Like There you go. Because now this other consciousness has birth, the consciousness of the serpent. Okay, now this is fascinating. All you got to do is turn this upside down. I'll have Clay do it. These are the eyes, this is the mouth, the horns up here. It's the dead makes an image of the devil. This is the hammer and the sickle, like, communism. It looks like the communist system is failing and it's of the devil, because when you turn this upside down, this is absolutely the face of the devil. You let this be the mouth, mustache, eyes, and when we'll just put the image upside down, you'll see it. Hammer and sickle, that system is failing and drowning. Okay, here's the yin-yang system right here. And watch. See the yin-yang? See it? Right here on the ground. Here's the yin-yang. It's just cryptically done. And that is the system that runs the whole earth. The right side, upside down, light, dark, paradigm. That's it. The yin-yang system. It's all the same. Right side up, upside down. And here comes war. It's like she's trying to stop it, but death won't let it stop. Now this is very interesting right here. Coming through, here's an image of, Christ. Now remember this, in the Vatican, there is a guy that's called a cantor, C-A-N-T-O-R, and he's singing in the Vatican. Don't forget, the Vatican is a building that's really a big serpent wearing a crown, and inside a big building that's a serpent wearing a crown is a guy dressed up in some garb, and he's singing to Lucifer, saying, Lucifer, dawning your own creation, and Christus filius tuus, and Christ your son. They're doing the same thing here. They're claiming Christ is theirs. It's very odd, because they're using this symbolically, like they are, they are part of the Christ system, which is quite wrong. The Catholic Church, they can sing all they want and say Christus filius tuus to Lucifer, but it's not true. He is not the son of Lucifer. He's the son of the Lord God. He is the Lord God in the flesh. There we go. I find it interesting again. His eyes are closed. His eyes are closed. It's like that consciousness hasn't awakened yet. And again, I have to wait till he opens his eyes to see if it really makes that face, but it sure looks like it. So here's what's controlling the system, the one eye. You got the one eye open, the one eye closed, just like Obama when he winks, in this video, as well as when Obama winked during the Get Your Health Care Obama video. Controlling the mind of, everyone. Satan's in your head. Okay, now this is very interesting. Now look, the Spirit is referred to, the Holy Spirit is like the fire and breath. Now watch this. Well, I recognize this right off the bat. When he blew the fire and he's coming out of this dark cavern, watch. He's coming out of this dark cavern. It's Jesus, and that breath, okay, you saw the fire come out, and it went over this thing, and he's riding on this barge that's got Anubis on it. Watch. You know what that is? I know exactly what that is. Let me show you. Let me show you what that is. That's what that is. He's coming out of the human body. He's coming right out of the throat. That's the uvula. He's coming right out of this. So he's coming out of the human body like a spirit coming out. Watch. You see it right there? That's exactly what he's coming out of. So the Spirit of Christ riding on the barge of death is leaving the human body. See it? That's what's going on. No doubt about it. That is coming out of the host body. So the spirit is coming out of the host body. He's on this barge of death. Okay, now he's exited the human body. You see it? He's exited. Now here's Kali doing, Kali representing the goddess of death again, doing the little dance. Now look, here come all the fish to jump into the boat. Watch what's up with the fish. They're all jumping into the boat with Jesus like it's time to leave, and they're black and white striped like prisoners that are going to escape with Jesus. Now here's this part. Again, here's this part where this guy's laying on his back, and it shows, like the light that came out of him right there. See the light that came out of the tower? That's what ran their whole system. That is what ran their entire system. That's a penis, folks. Now the whore, she's used up. The whore has been used up and she's in prison. She's got nothing left. She's dried up. She's trying to work her sorcery. It's not working. And now the light. She's dried up. Now look. Jesus is coming out from this is DNA, folks. And it shows he's coming out of the DNA and he's birthing, his spirit is birthing. And watch. It's a birthing event. See all the water? And there's Kali doing her little dance. Now this represents humanity and the entire population. Now watch this. This is amazing. Wow. George saw this earlier today. I'd like to give him credit for that. He's absolutely right. You see that? That is harp. Okay, that is harp. This is a harp thing. This is a harp array right here. And the human race is dust. And it shows this image of what's supposed to be Jesus going up and destroying the whole thing. And then there goes the serpent leaving. The kid's finally not controlled by it. Now this part, honestly, I really don't have a clue. I'm not sure what's up with this, but... This is fascinating. This is Kali again wearing all these different masks. It's fascinating because when you know the truth, you know that everybody's a hypocrite. Unless you've been converted. Everyone's wearing a mask. Now this is fascinating. Now here's the devil up top, like this system frozen over, looking at the sun. Look at it, it's a vampiric system, obviously. Looking at the sun. Now watch. Here comes the birthing event, then his eyes open. Oh, now his eyes open. Now watch. This is the part I find very, very interesting and very odd. His eyes are open. You see the reflection of the flames in his eyes. This is a representation, of the other race. Just like the Catholics claimed Jesus is the son of Lucifer. I think they're doing the same thing here. Now, the church is going to fall down and be destroyed because the church age is over. Watch. There it goes. The end of the church age. There it goes. The end of the church age. Okay, so now he's riding off into the sunset. Here the three pyramids are, and they all fall down. That is the system that started this. I mean, the pyramids are a representation of Lucifer's system that started this. That's why the Israelites were slaves in Egypt, and they were ruled over by Pharaoh that had a serpent and a vulture representing death and the mind of the serpent. Here's a huge scorpion tail right here. Here's a giant scorpion. Just follow me. This is a giant scorpion right here. Here's the tail. Here's the stinger. That is a scorpion tail, absolutely guaranteed right there. So here's a giant scorpion in the sky. There's the tip of the tail. There's the very tip of the tail. That's like a drop of poison. There's the tip of the tail. There it comes down, arching body of the scorpion. Here are the pyramids disappearing. HelioFant, okay? Helios was the personification of the sun, and that's what the Statue of Liberty looks at every morning. She's facing east, looking at the rising sun. She's looking at Helios, the personification of the sun. So HelioFant, Helio, so the personification of the sun, and font means child, like infant, a child during the earliest period of its life. Child of the sun, HelioFant. And he's saying time's up. That's why he put the 0 in the middle. So HelioFant, if you're out there, decrypted for you. Anyway, for the one that did it, I can see it. So it's no secret anymore. Your race of beings is about to meet its end. I'm sorry to be so blunt. But I'm kind of burnt out on all the little cryptic thinking y'all are smart stuff. The Lord sees everything. And I'll tell you what, if you're trying to tell me that's not a guy laying on his back, and that's not what that is, I don't believe you. That's very obvious what that is. So it's all been a breeding thing again, and this is all the same thing. It's all the same. Let me show you something. I'll tell you what, I'm going to show you something here in just a minute. And I'll break this down for you. You won't believe what's in this, but I'm just going to show you the same exact things in The Simpsons. Watch. Homer goes to heaven, and he wants to see what's going on with Marge and the kids. He was telling everybody the rapture had happened. Watch.
I gotta know, what happened to my family?
Heaven has a wide...
I'm not going to get into everything because this thing is totally cryptic, but I'm going to show you the part that is so ridiculously obvious. You got to see it.
array of fine
Hang on one sec.
dining just steps...
Heaven has a fine array of fine dining.
just steps from your room.
So, heaven has a fine array of fine dining. So they're talking about fine dining.
Have a light bite at the Pope of Sandwich Village.
Have a light bite at the Popus Family Village, Sandwich Village. Interesting.
Okay, let's see. Earth is channel 23, I think.
Earth is channel what? How many chromosomes turned us into food? How many chromosomes turned us all into food? 23. Oh, wow. Earth is channel 23. Let's see what's going on channel 23. Let's see. Fire and brimstone coming down. Lake of fire. Bart being chased by locusts. It's probably just a coincidence. If y'all can't see how ridiculously obvious all this is now, I'm sorry. I'm in just like one of those. I've had enough moods, man. I've had enough of their nonsense. I'm like, hey, guess what, Satan? For you, your time has come, Satan. For those of us that are believers, we have our hope in Christ. All this, once your kingdom's no longer hidden anymore, you don't have a kingdom. And you know what that means, right? The time of your destruction has come. So, just saying, it's here. It's so obvious. I mean, really? Earth channel is channel 23? Fine dining? Us? We're the fine dining? Ha ha. Ha ha. Ha ha. I mean, I really like The Simpsons, but I get it. Ha ha. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. Oh, wow. Bart being chased by a bunch of locusts. Ha ha. It's really kind of funny, but it's really super sick. It's really twisted. So, yeah. And Satan, I know the way you work. You work through humans. So, whatever human is watching this that you're watching, time's up for you. I want you to know that. I want you to know that. Your time's up. All right, folks. Anyway, I wanted to break that down. That's as short and sweet as I can make it. I'll do a little short video on the Simpsons thing. I'll keep it short and to the point. But this thing is absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd. Channel 23, fine dining. Right before Channel 23, fine dining.
Channel 23, I think.
Told you. It's all about the chromosomes, folks. All right, God bless.
Tehebun le'erekum Watisnon le'erekum Wa ana amerlukum Tehebun le'erekum Titsalon le'redafekum Kaverdi hen tehebun ahavin lukum Matabdina